Yes, it's kind of a frustration to not have more points because I think the contents of our free match were quite good. But it does also show us that we still have some steps before to arrive on the same level as the best team in Europe, and we're going to work hard on it. But also to feel frustrated after having played in Sweden, at home against Spain and in Greece. I think to have frustration is quite a good sign. It means we were not far to make something absolutely fantastic. But it's as I said, it's a source of motivation now for everyone, for the staff, for the players, because we know we're not that far, and we know that we have to keep working hard. And I'm sure in the near future we will have better results, but I hope with the same contents, because I was quite satisfied from the players, from what they achieved during this free match. I was very impressed. You can have 20,000 in a small stadium or 50,000 in a bigger stadium. The most important is what fans can bring in the stadium, and I've been very positively impressed from what I've seen in Batumi, and I hope and I'm convinced it's going to be a massive plus for us to play against Kosovo. I know the atmosphere will be absolutely fantastic. I know the players will feel the support of the fans, and that's why I'm convinced this game in Kosovo will be a success for us. But before to think about Kosovo, we have to think about our two friendly match in Romania and Holland. Regarding Koreanice, let's say it's a good surprise, because when I arrived in March, Koreanice last year was in second league, so he's not a player that I've seen a lot. But I've seen this year some good things about him, and to be honest, he has a different profile that all the other strikers we have. He's different than Zivzivadze, he's different than Kvilitaja, he's different than Lobianidze, he's different than Kacharava. He's a player who I think can bring us a lot, because he likes to go straight to the goal. He's just has a different profile, and I think it was interesting for us to see him playing on a higher level, also for himself, to know what is where he can go, up until where he can go, what he has still to improve. And I think these two friendly matches were also important for that, to take some players, to see them. And because the national team is open to everybody who deserves to come. For me, the past is not important. What player achieved in the last 3, 4, 5 years, it's not important. What is important is what they do now and what they can do in the future. And I think he deserves to come. So I'm always open to call new players, to nominate new players if they deserve. The name, the status is not important. What is important is what they can do on the pitch. Yes, definitely. For these two games, to have a bit more time with the players is a massive plus for me. In terms of training sessions, in terms of also knowledge of the players. When you spend time with your players, you also start knowing them a bit more personally, and it's also interesting for a coach to know better his players. So I'm happy. I'm happy to have around 10 training sessions during this training camp, compared to the 3 or 4 we had in March. Regarding Kvilitaja, he was with us in March. In the past, he did play quite a lot with the national team. He does score quite on a regular basis with his club in Cyprus. I think he has a good potential. I think he has even a great potential, but I'm expecting him to show it a bit more. When you play for Georgia, you have to be fully dedicated to your team, to your country. And once you're on the pitch, you have to give 100%. I think he did. I think he did try. But I also expect from him maybe a bit more work in his club. I wasn't completely 100% satisfied with his fitness for the first 3 matches. Modern football, and I'm not saying that, it's everybody can see it, modern football is also a game where you need players ready for transition, to make a lot of sprints, to make a lot of efforts, and I'm sure Georgi understood that too, and I'm sure he's going to work hard on it, and I'm sure in the future we will see him again under the national flag. But at the moment, because I also can't nominate 50 strikers in the list. As we spoke before about Kourianidze, I wanted to see Kourianidze. Georgi, I know him a bit more now. And at some point I just have to make some choice. And I took my responsibility. I hope Georgi will also understand my point of view. I'm sure he's going to, because he's intelligent. He has, and he's still young. He still has a lot of interesting years in front of him, but he maybe has to work a bit more. And there's now, what I want is also to bring more concurrence in the team. We already had this topic in March. I said concurrence help players getting better, and I'm sure Georgi will use this concurrence to improve in the next months. And regarding Tbilisi and my life here, with my French assistant, we have decided to not be in a hotel, but to be in Tbilisi, because we are convinced if we want to make the best job we can here, we have to understand a lot of things. We have to understand the people. We have to understand the culture, because football is just a reflection of the culture, and that's why we wanted to be in the middle of the people and not just stay in hotel room. No, we feel very good where we are. I personally want to say thank you for the federation, because they try every day to put us in the best condition. And we just want to give that back to them, doing the best job we can, and to bring the national team to raise a bit the level of the national team in the future. Gvisha, yes, got injured in the last weeks, but he played the whole season. He hasn't been injured a lot, so there's no reason to worry about him. It's just a normal muscle injury that every sport people can have, but he will be with us and will be fit for the 2 matches. For Shakvetadze is a different problem. He does accumulate, unfortunately, injuries now since 2 or 3 years. He's still a young player, but he's losing slowly time. It's important that he work on his body first. He should take his time and just come back in the competition when he will be fully ready. He should not push it too much at the beginning, because a body is like a computer. A body has a memory, and all the injuries you do accumulate, they stay in your body, and so he has to be careful. I haven't had contact with him personally, with Shakvetadze, because I think, he knows what I think about him. He knows that I would love to have him fit to play with us. But I give him the time to think about himself, to think about his body, and to recover 100%. Regarding Jabba, yes, Jabba is injured, unfortunately. Our captain is injured, but it can happen, and we didn't want to take risk to make him coming back absolutely for these 2 matches. Maybe we would have made it, it's not even sure, but there was no reason to push him too far. We need Jabba in September, so I prefer him to recover now fully, that he can have good holidays and then restart and make a very good pre-season to be fit for the very important match in September. And regarding the captain position, of course, if Jabba is not there, Guram Kasia should be the captain. Let's see now if he's going to play both match or just one match. But I have no reason to change anything regarding that. I was absolutely convinced by Jabba, what he has done as captain, and the leadership of Guram Kasia during this week we spent together in March was also absolutely fantastic. So I'm very glad that I have two good leaders for this position. And if Guram is not there, then let's see who will be on the pitch and who will deserve to be the captain, because it's not just a decision I make, it's also a question of who deserves it the most. He's in a club in Spain, so in quite a good league, but he's not playing enough from my point of view on the highest level. He's most of the time with the second team. He does appear sometimes in the cup games, and I do believe that the second team of Levante and the Georgian national team, there's a too big gap at the moment. But he's still a young player, so he has time. It's also a question of career decision, where you want to play, which level you want to play, and most important, how many matches on the high level you want to play. That's up to the players' decisions. But it's, of course, a player we do follow. We have our opinion, and he's still young, and in the future, I'm sure he's going to be part of the national team, but he has to play on a regular basis on the higher level. Mamouddashvili, I've seen him last weekend. He's still a young player, he's 23. He's playing for one of the best clubs in Georgia. So, of course, he's under our eyes, but I did consider it was still a bit too early for him. But I think he has certain qualities that are required in the national team. And Beridze, Georgi, so we worked together in March. He made me a good impression, especially when he came in Sweden. But also, friendly matches are also made for that, to see other players. As I said, I can't, if I make a list of 25 or 26, I can't nominate 15 offensive players. I need a balance. And for these two friendly matches, we decided, and I took the decision to give a chance to Davitashvili, to see him with us, to see him living in the group for 10 days, to see him on the pitch. So it's just a decision regarding friendly match, regarding period. It doesn't mean I don't have confidence on Beridze, because I do have. He did come in March. So I just want to see as many players as I can to then be able to take the right decisions. In football, you can't take a decision if you never see somebody. And that's why for these two games, as Gvisha will be there too, Gvisha is going to play, but Davitashvili is going also to play, and we can't, I don't think it also has any sense to take a player and to not give him any minutes on the pitch. So that's why I decided to get Davitashvili for these two matches, because as I said, I want to see him with us. Regarding the goalkeepers, on these two friendly match. So Makaridze is not there because he's going to play the playoff with Almeria, and it's a conversation I had with him in March already. He's very much focused on his club because I think it's a massive challenge to get to the first league in Spain, and I do respect that. We will see after the holidays for his case. And but on the two match, Kupatadze is going to play one match for sure because he was with us in March. He didn't play 1 minute. But he had a great mentality. In training sessions, he was always good. With Batumi is also playing on quite high level, and so I, like other players, I want to give him a chance, to give him the chance to show me that he can concurrence the others. And for the second match, I didn't take a decision yet, but Loria and Mamardashvili will be there, so let's see after for the second match. But the first match, if nothing happens, at 99% Kupatadze is going to start the first match. Grigalava, he left after the match against Spain, after a conversation we had. He did explain me that he wasn't happy with his situation of not being in the start 11. He wasn't happy to be on the bench, and you know, national team is not. It's a place you should deserve, either on the bench or on the pitch. It's something you should deserve. It's something that should be a source of motivation. That should be your daily goal when you are with your club. You should always think about the national team because it's the pride of the country. And after the conversation, I think it was clear that he wasn't 100% involved in the project. He wasn't accepting the rules. And if a player doesn't accept the rules, then from my point of view, he can't help us. And so I just want to have players who are fully dedicated to the national team and nothing else. So yes, so we've got two friendly matches now in front of us. I don't think talking about tactic or animation is the right place here to do it. My goals on these two games, it's also, as we spoke before, to see certain players who haven't played before, who are new, like Kupatadze, Koreanidze, Davitashvili. It's to give, yes, a bit of time to these players to show what they can. Of course, we want to win. Of course, when you start a football match, you always want to win. But I think friendly matches are also made for that, to make some tests, sometimes with success, sometimes not. But it's important to have this kind of games. But you know, in June, for a lot of players, it does also mean the end of the season. They have played a long season. It was a difficult year with the COVID. It has been a lot of stress. So I would say most of the time the match in June are not the best one you play in your season. But my aim is that the players keep the same attitude that they had in March. I expect them a strong discipline, a strong tactical discipline. I expect them to give twice more 90 minutes before holidays for certain players. You know, it's just we know that our main goal is September. September will be we will get important games against Kosovo, against Spain. We have from what we have shown, we definitely need more points now. because you also judge on the amount of points you get. But I think we are on the good way. We quite represent the country on a good way for the first 3 matches. As I said, I just do expect the same discipline, the same dedication to the team. But I think also these 2 games are the time for us to try. That was the conversation, the discussion we had after the 3 match. If we want to increase now our level, we will need to have a bit more control on the game, not just play on transition. And that's also going to be what we're going to try to achieve against Romania and Holland.